Can you talk about procrastination? What do we do ourselves when we are postponing things? And how to stop it, how to change it?
You know, procrastination comes from fear. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of something. We don't want to move into action because we feel safer dreaming about it instead of doing it. That's one type of procrastination. Okay? And it's a place where we're protecting ourselves. You know, I think we have to get to a point that we do what we want because we enjoy it, not because we have to achieve something. If you're always having to achieve something, there's always a fear. But if everything's just a new experience and you're doing it from joy and love instead of a fixed outcome, there's not so much pressure. Because it doesn't matter what happens. It's just an experience. And what will be, will be. And you have to come from that energy. And not a place of exigence. Like, oh, I want to be a singer. Well, be a singer. Learn to sing, practice, get lessons, go and do it, enjoy. But not like, oh, I need to be Lady Gaga. Because there's one Lady Gaga. You can't always do everything from a place of needing to be the best. We can only be the best of ourselves. And we do it for ourselves. And in order to be a master at anything, you have to practice. This is the thing. You can have a raw talent, but it still has to be cultivated. And it's about the journey. You know, you see people that are experts, but it didn't happen overnight. It's a process, and it's a process of errors as well. We make mistakes. This is how we grow. We start with something raw, and then we polish it, and then we present it, and then we have other people that we're mixing with, and we learn, and we evolve, until we become the best of who we are. And we have to do everything from that space. Firstly, I want to because I love to do this. It makes me feel good. And I'm going to be the best of me. Yeah? But if you start comparing and expecting miracles, you're going to be always in that space of procrastination. And it's a shame, no? It's a shame. You know, I wanted to sing. And I did lessons and lessons and lessons and lessons. And I went out and I started singing. And I got paid to go and sing. And I'd write songs. And I had a great time. Was I super famous? No. Was I a great singer? No. But I was good. And I enjoyed myself, you know. And that was what was important. And then I found consciousness. And it was great for that. You know, everything has a purpose. Everything. So just do what you love. But without this rigidity. You know, oh, I've got to be the best. I've got to be famous. Or whatever. I've got to build the biggest business. Or I want to be the best of me. And that's the best you can be. That's it. The best of you. And it's great. If you're doing it from that place. Good. Stop procrastinating. Life is short. Apparently. That's what they keep saying, no? So, dale.
Can you talk about the judgments? I project lots of judgments on me, and my family was very judgmental, but also are towards the outside. In what moment you can be the moment not to follow the judgments and not have them anymore?
You know, once we heal our internal judgments, we stop judging externally. And usually the things we judge the most are aspects of ourselves. And we have to see that. We judge our parents, we judge different aspects of society. We have all these fixed ideas. And what do judgments serve? Well, they make me feel superior, or they make me feel less. But it's always holding me in this place of duality. But when I heal that internal judgment, and that's through the system, no? It starts to disappear outside. Because you start to see yourself everywhere. Oh, yeah, I used to do that. Oh, I used to believe that. Oh, I used to think that. I used to judge that. And I have a saying, whatever you judge, you either become or you marry it. And it's a truth. It's a truth. Because whatever you judge, the universe puts here. So we try to let go of our judgments because they're internal. And we should get to a point where we just witness. You know, obviously there's certain things that are more evolved. It's not that we're going to condone, you know, some of the behaviours of humanity. But the judgment, that internal violence against, it starts to dissolve. Because when you know yourself, you start to just perceive ignorance. You know, it comes from fear. And there's compassion. But the compassion has to start with you. It always has to start with you. And see the judgment. And have the intention of letting it go. Yeah, firstly with you. And then with everyone. Yeah? But really walk towards that separation. Because we all have these prejudices that are not based in reality. They're just prejudices that we're taught and they stick.
I'm learning here. What I'm learning here, I didn't know, except in movies, or in TV, or in the movie theater. I see my ignorance. Now I feel as if I'm in Avatar, in the movie Avatar. Avatar, the blue ones. But there is a movie that is called My Life, with Michael Keaton. And in a moment in that movie, an acupuncturist takes him towards the expansion of consciousness, or towards that deep place that I want to get to. Is some way of doing it with some external help?
I don't know why you've got this idea that you need to consume something. Because you think it's going to speed up the process. You can do many things. You can do ayahuasca. You can smoke marijuana. You can take LSD. There's lots of things you can do. But you're going to have an experience and then it's going to disappear. Or else every hippie in the 70s would be enlightened. And it's not like that. Everyone did it all. You've got to build internal consciousness. And yes, you can have these experiences, but it's not permanent. If you have permanent consciousness, it accompanies you everywhere. It even destroys the illusion of death. And this is what you really want. But you know, you're more than welcome to do what you want. But it's not going to be permanent. And it won't be there always accompanying you. But if you cultivate consciousness, it's permanent. Permanent. And you start to enjoy everything and flow with everything and have great interpersonal relationships. You know, if you're high on LSD, you're not going to be communicating very well. Yeah. You think you are.
I heard you a couple of times to say that everything comes from nothing or from the void, from emptiness. Can you clarify?
See, everything's energy. Everything comes from the unmanifest and comes into manifestation. Everything starts and flourishes. A tree doesn't come as a tree. No, everything starts to mature and evolve. Like humans, it starts from nothing, that energy, that information, and then it grows, no? It's like a baby. It doesn't go in as a baby. It has a process. And everything comes from the unmanifest. Because everything takes form. And everything evolves and changes within the illusion of duality. But everything's the same. Everything's the same. Everything's unconditional love. It's an energy. Even science can prove that now. But through the expansion of consciousness, without mushrooms, you can see that. You can feel that. You can see that energy in everything.
So I feel this system is so magic and so beautiful to live in unity. That it's a pity to be separated from people. Can you talk about that a bit?
You know, the thing is this. All humans want love. That's all we want. We want to feel loved. We want to feel appreciated. We want to feel good enough. We're all like little children looking for mummy's approval, no? But we have different ways of asking. And it's always hard for us to be vulnerable. And this is a huge aspect of the system. Learning to be vulnerable. Because it's vulnerability that connects the heart. So when one person takes a step to be vulnerable, to reach out, to heal, the other person's heart opens. Because that's all they want. Okay? And we have to see this. People say, oh, I don't care if my father loves me. Oh, I don't care what my mother thinks. Oh, I don't care about my sister. But it's not true. You care profoundly, but you put a wall from your ego to protect yourself. And when you start to take that wall down without expectations, you liberate something within you. And as I tell you, we're all one. That connection is constant. It's all the same. Everything's the same. And where I put my attention, that love flows. Unfortunately, lots of humans hold resentment for eternity. You imagine there's families that fight against each other because their great-great-grandparents did. You know, it's so immature and ludicrous. But this is what happens. You know, and this is why I say you walk towards separation. Walk towards your judgments. You know, and love unconditionally. And some people are very hard to love. But very hard. And they're the ones that need the most love.
Sometimes we meet people that we do immediate click. And another times we are like taking distance with some people. Is that a program, mental program, or it comes from a defense or from our heart?
You know, it comes from your head because it's your window of perception. There's certain people that you do this because you have a judgment. And usually it's an aspect of yourself. So it's very important to remain open. You know, we tend to box people. You know, obviously some people you feel like this. And they have aspects of you that you resonate with, no? Like politicians. I like that politician. I hate that one. Okay, but it's more from the head. Once you start to love yourself, you don't box people automatically. And when you see someone that you completely reject, it's very good just to be present and just be loving. And that will start to diminish. That judgment will start to diminish. And you'll start seeing that person with more clarity. Because the most annoying people are very demanding. They want a lot of attention. They have an energy. And it's like, oh, yes? But they need love. We all have different ways of asking for love. So we always have to open to that. And if they provoke something in you, go and move it. Take responsibility. Oh, he's such a machista. He's so arrogant. He reminds me of my ex-husband. Yeah. Oh, this one reminds me of my mother-in-law. You know, there's always someone. And you need to heal. You need to heal.
Come visit our webpage for books, movies, and our wonderful retreat centers. Isha's simple yet powerful system is transforming lives around the world.